because it got me thinking about another one, but I forgot the exact one.
Are D&D characters actually aware of their own stats? That's what started it.
Yep.
Some Miss Cleo shit. Also, to our listeners, you may be wondering why we all look the same as we did in the last episode and wear the same clothes. It's because this is just a continuation of the last episode. Surprise, I know. Podcasting magic.
We're just really into talking about D&D characters.
It's a shtick, okay? It's all we have going for ourselves.
All we have.
It's really our only personality points, Dungeons and Dragons.
We make this up just so that way, in hopes that if we make enough story content fleshed out, it'll be enough that Banya will be like, okay, I can make a campaign off of this, and then he'll play it for us.
Yeah, I haven't played D&D in like 30 years.
The issue isn't ideas there. There's plenty of stuff there for me to do that I've already written out like multiple years for. The issue is I need to do the fine details for each episode and shift things as things happen, and I've been too tired to then also.
I'm sitting here wondering why everybody is like, okay, now that we're being recorded, let's just make passive aggressive comments about Banyo not doing his campaign.
I don't get paid to. I do it pro bono like the Druids. Okay,
we're trying to peer pressure him, and we all know how good peer pressure works in Banyo. It doesn't.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't work at all. It's just a desperate call for D&D.
I need to live my second life as Bill
I got the D&D
Wizard.
shakes. You know what I mean?
That's
you guys
right.
ever get the D&D shakes? It's basically your hand like stuttering in a dice rolling motion.
And then you just stare and you go, oh shit.
Yeah, I need to start playing D&D or some kind of tabletop to justify my dice purchases. Okay? I have more
There's
dice
no
than
need. You do not need to justify that.
I have dice themed to characters I have not fully built for any specific campaign yet. Like, I have a problem. I need someone to help.
How many of them are orphans?
This is the number one question about any character.
Actually, no. None of the new characters were made as orphans, thanks to the shade you threw at me like a year and a half ago at this point.
Yeah,
so,
you're welcome.
Thanks for that.
I was gonna say new.
What was the shade?
What color was that shade? Was like a really like a blackout shade.
I'd have to scroll back through the chat, but essentially it was like the emo kid cliche, and I was like,
It's the cliche of everyone's D&D character for the most part, or every new player's D&D character is they either don't know what they're doing or they have a traumatic backstory where they're orphans.
Oh my god, my character was not an orphan, thankfully. Whew. That was that bullet.
It's just like, why can't you just be a normal person that wanted to be an adventurer? Just like, I've had a good life, but I want to be an adventurer.
Hey, what if you were just a really rich plantation owner and you decided to give that up and become a gentleman adventurer?
A gentleman adventurer?
Yeah.
Okay. It's
a reference. It's a reference to a very good show.
I was sitting there, I was just like, all right, Steed. And I was like, wait a minute, that was exactly fucking Steed.
For those who ever watched it, our flag means this flag means death. Our flag means death.
Our flag.
It's our flag. It's fantastic. It's great. It's amazing.
Good job.
So I think that leads in nicely to the other topic I was thinking of, because I think we're getting off track with the other one. The first one is Lich psychiatry.
Lich psychiatry.
I don't even know how to process those words.
I'm a little alarmed by it, honestly.
Well, so there's two paths here, which is a Lich who is a psychiatrist has all the time in the world to like build that knowledge, understand people, and be able to give them good input.
They also probably have gone through shit.
Yeah, but then there's the other part is they're a Lich, so they're always going through, like, they've gone through a lot of stuff. They had to go through a lot of endeavors to become a Lich, and that's got to weigh on you. So having a psychiatrist for the Lich would be very beneficial.
I offer a third path. People don't think about the feelings of the undead enough. And who better to administer psychiatry to them than a Lich?
This actually ties in.
They're an underserved community.
This actually ties into how I was trying to articulate the previous topic about people becoming aware of their own stats. Wouldn't this kind of breed not necessarily a profession, but a niche community of adventurers and tradespeople that are very, very self-aware? So it does kind of play into the psychology of it, because, being self-aware actually helps with psychology. So it'd be like, aside from a lich, which, oof, yeah, that's a lot to unpack there. How many like different classes would have their own specialized psychiatry? Like rangers and, well, druids try to stay neutral, but still like being self-aware enough to try and stay neutral. Like even rogues, like having to be self-aware and like bear the guilt of the crimes and what they commit, but at the same time, like trying to be cool with it.
Well, I feel like the druids would need the psychiatry the most, right? Because they'd be like Vulcans, right? They need to be hammered back into neutrality every once in a while. Like, oh shit, I saw some shit and I might lose my neutrality. Somebody please talk me back into it.
Talk me down
like to raise the alarm of us talking about druids too much. And I am becoming anti-druid.
Whoa.
Through the quantity in which we are discussing them.
Well, I'm just saying, that's the one I can latch on to the easiest.
I think that rolls perfectly with the whole Lich thing, though, is the Lich who's been through a lot, has to process a lot, working through their own trauma and whatnot, and then still being able to turn around to like the druids and be like, listen, I know, but let's go through our exercises, okay? Have we, thought about the things that keep us grounded in the moment, things to be grateful for, but at the same time will pull us back from that edge of wanting to set a forest on fire. How are we feeling about that?
Is gratitude a sign of breaking neutrality? Like, I'm grateful for the breeze. And then the druid's like, fuck, I can't level anymore.
It is, I mean, in terms of like psychiatry, I don't think so, because it's always been, I mean, in my experience, like finding time to being in therapy sessions, sitting there and like going over the things of, finding things in the moment to be grateful for is something that kind of centers you away from the things you're going to focus on that are negatively affecting you. So if you have a druid who is just getting super overwhelmed by all the court cases, and he's feeling really jaded and he's losing that neutrality, something to push him back from that negativity, you got to find something positive to balance it with.
Is this the Lich psychiatrist or the psychiatrist for the Lich? You lost me.
No, that's the Lich psychiatrist who's like been through the shit. He's like, listen, I know, but let's think about a positive thing to help bring you back from the edge. So how do you feel about the little bunnies? Are bunnies good, or are bunnies too close to that court case with the guy with the cart?
I feel like if a druid was having anxiety and he had to focus his thoughts, he would think about like villagers dying because their wheat wasn't able to bloom in the off season, and the druid's like nature.
so rolling it back to the Lich, imagine doing a wellness check on a Lich's phylactery.
A wellness
check. Is your phylactery? Maybe you should give that to a friend.
Is your phylactery running, or are you just happy to see me?
Just until you feel better.
I'm still trying to figure out who would be the psychiatrist for the Lich. Like, what tops a Lich?
Probably?
Well, yeah, but who's going to be the psychiatrist for that Lich? And then the psychiatrist for the Lich above that Lich? There has to be a top somewhere.
Is just circular. You're just like...
It kind of is.
Hold on. How do you know there's not just like a Lich support group?
Yeah.
Do they phone each other through the Wizard telegraph service?
That's the Wizard cell phone network.
Exactly. AT&T fling. Yes, it's all a part of it, right? Like one person has to suggest, hey, if you're feeling this way, go talk to other Liches and learn to support each other. And if you think about it, what? Yeah, exactly. Lich is anonymous. But it's kind of like what the hell are positive things in a Lich's life?
Living forever. Yeah,
they don't live forever though. They can be killed. They can be removed.
If you kill all of their phylacteries.
Here,
so like if I was go ahead.
Let me put myself in the place of a Lich who's had an introspective on himself, where he's just like, I committed quite a few atrocities to get here and to gain this power, and I just feel that I don't deserve this.
I've peaked.
I feel like you need an immense amount of ego to want to be a Lich in the first place. So, like, to say you don't deserve it as a Lich is like such a turn around in character, I'd be like, wow, you've made such progress.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking like this will happen immediately. I'm just like millennia down the line, you've seen everything and you've come to regret your decisions of what you've done.
Is there Lich suicide?
Well,
Yeah, that's why you have to do the wellness check on the phylacteries.
just every day
You
he
message
takes a-
your Lich Anonymous buddy. Hey, have you seen Joe's been looking a little down? Have you guys somebody want to portal over there and check on his phylacteries real quick?
We need a trigger warning on this episode because we can't.
This is heading in a direction. Good call.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's just every day he takes his phylactery and pulls one of 6 identical wands out of a box and casts a spell at it.
On his head.
Oh my god!
Oh no! 5 of them cast fireworks, and it's fun. One of them cast ray of frost.
Disintegrate.
Disintegrate.
Oh my
This is depressing.
God.
Yeah, this is depressing.
That
Can we talk about clowns?
But let's go talk about something.
no clowns.
Yeah, like
So-
this was a loaded topic.
So this is like I said, where you got to have the one that steps in is like, okay, you're a bit too close to the edge. Let's take a moment. Let's be present in this moment. Deep breath. Just somebody to talk him off the ledge.
You know how you can
Support
always
groups.
you can figure out if one of them's too close to the ledge. They use that ring that points. If you point at someone, tells them their mood.
Oh, he's depressed because he doesn't know how to speak to people, he or she. That's the sad reality of liches. They're all antisocial because they've been alive for too long. They only use anachronisms for their socialization.
Well, now I'm just wondering, like, how would you identify between the male lich and the female lich, and
I feel like after a millennia,
In
you
between.
probably just kind of
they just don't care anymore?
yeah, it wouldn't matter.
So imagine a social network specifically for liches that's like lichesonly.com or something going through the message network. Liches only meetups and whatnot, just
Hey,
Necronomic Online.
right.
Hmm.
Just
Kind of
everyone
ready
gets
to-
together.
bring some excitement back to your unlife.
Meet your local undeads now.
Are you? Is this talking about it being some sort of like sex meetup?
Support
Yeah.
group. I said
Single
support
and
group.
horny liches in your zip code.
Hey, look, whatever helps you step away.
We've got more
subscribe
bones
to-
than a graveyard. Sign up
Subscribe to
now.
Bone.
Oh,
So
is
is
that
it,
a femur?
Subscribe to the Boneyard.
Sorry,
is it,
wait.
like, I guess is there like a whole registry for this, or do you just seek out a ranger to find single liches? In
Oh
your
my
town?
god. There's that website called Seeking Arrangement. Now it's Seeking a Ranger. I'm so sorry.
It's just like a PI, just I've heard
Wait.
some cases in my days.
Does that mean like marriage between liches needs to be done by a necromancer? Technically,
Can a lich sign a legal contract, but he's dead, so maybe he
That's-
can't?
Well, no, it wouldn't be a necromancer because necromancers are just magic based. It would need to be like an evil cleric or like a fallen paladin.
Evil cleric.
but those fall more into like the warrior types, right? There would have to be something kind of on a priest level.
Well, that is the priest level, is the cleric and the paladin.
Is it? I don't think clerics fall into the like priest kind of levels. That's why there's priests that are not playable. I guess they could be.
Oh yeah, like there's evil priests, but like if we're talking adventurer classes, you'd have to go with one of those two. But ideally, you should be going with an evil priest.
And is it till death do you part again, or is it like?
Well, you're already dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how many phylacteries can a lich have? Is there like a limit to them?
I don't think there is. And I think if I was a lich, I would just continually
Oh.
manufacture
You
phylacteries.
should trade phylacteries
No,
with each other.
it's-
I thought the rule is the more there is, the weaker the lich is.
Yeah, but as part of the matrimonies, you produce a phylactery, you trade.
Banyo, go ahead.
Well,
That's
I think
cute.
it's the soul of the lich. You can't split it.
I thought you could. It's just the actual lich gets weaker. I thought.
Well, if I cut you in half, Whiskey, will you still function?
Yes. I'll just be more soulless than normal.
He's like, I've made it this far.
Oh no!
Right.
Imagine. Okay, so if you do, if you are able to split it, and then let's say your partner accidentally drops yours and it shatters on the ground, would it then be like having
Murder.
like a what's the word? The brain aneurysm for like half your brain just going dead.
Stroke.
Oh.
Soulism. That's a word I just made up. I'm a
Oh.
genius.
No, it would just rip back into you, or it would rip into the other phylactery.
It would be probably so revitalizing to have the rest of your soul back.
Yeah.
You'd be disappointed but very happy.
It'd be like a really weird high, I imagine.
It'd be like a drug.
Yeah.
They would do literally getting high of getting their soul slammed
Oh,
back into their
shit.
brain.
Oh, but it'd be called soul slamming. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Just
exactly
understand
what it would
Lich
be.
clubs where they make phylacteries and just like shatter
They
them and just like,
they call-
do it again.
They
What
soul
is
slam
this
all night.
topic? What is this topic? That
We've
we've gone
invented a
around.
new hot thing for liches to do on their spare time, which is soul slam.
This
I'm
went from
steering this away from the depressing fucking conversation.
Yeah, hell
you
yeah.
guys had.
This is
This
let's
is-
go to degeneracy. I like this one. I like this one a lot.
This one went from horrible to amazing.
Yeah.
I'm still like trying to figure out on the prenups of the Lich because they're already messy enough as it is. Now you're talking about like centuries, unlimited life.
I'd be like, while you're thinking about prenups, I've been soul slamming all
I'm
night.
sorry. I got really high off for soul slamming and decided to get hitched to this to Esmeralda the Lich. So
I mean, technically, wouldn't it be more soul slicing than anything? Soul slamming sounds like you want to go to that website again.
yeah, but no, because
You want to get
soul slicing is like making the phylactery, but the soul slamming is a descriptor of how it feels, like the rush of it being slammed back into you.
exactly.
Like a momentary burst of like emotion and like mortal
Enjoy.
feelings. God, the shit, what's that term for it? The down must be so bad.
Oh yeah. Well, you have to then voluntarily remove a part of your soul to rebuild your phylactery.
Well, that's the thing, though. We'd have to figure out does the soul actually go back into you, or does it go straight into the other phylactery, right? Do you have to split that again?
Oh yeah. I mean, it depends on how many phylacteries you have.
If it did,
Would it theoretically evenly split between yourself and the phylacteries?
no, because like yourself is just a body. You'll reanimate back at the phylactery, so everything revolves around the phylactery. So the other half should go back to your existing phylactery.
Yeah, so it might not be as much of a drug trip as much as it might be one of those like on the edge kind of thrill.
Okay, how about this? People addicted to getting mildly mind flayed.
What?
I can see that.
Mildly mind flayed.
Yeah, what if a mind flayer was like, you know what? I don't really want to conquer fucking planes of existence. I just want to be a drug dealer. I'm just gonna lightly mind flay people.
Being on a bender in this world sounds like a crazy experience.
I
No.
can see that.
The
I'll give it a shot.
as much as you don't want to go back to this, the Druid lawyers would go to that mine.
Come
flare
on
so
with the
much.
druids.
Are you kidding me?
Jeez.
You want to get not have to think about that shit anymore?
No, like there's no animals here. They're all dead or undead.
Yeah, well, no, it's
Not
not
even
about
worry
them.
about your lawyers.
No, I'm talking about them going to this mind flare to be mildly mind flayed, to forget about the extreme pressures that are put on them in this society, because apparently they're brought up every 24/7. They're basically like the doctors of D&D.
Dungeons and doctors.
I'm a level 5 wizard with a PhD.
I am a internal medicine specialist.
I'm an infrastructure specialist studied at T-Mobile University.
Oh my gosh.
Level 5 wizard with a PhD. I'm gonna say you're a spy or something because you wouldn't have a PhD as a wizard. You're trapped in a prison.
What do you mean you know how to read?
All you're there is for wish spells.
But see, I see where you're getting at, Joe. But that's where it steers into that whole like they were stating the thrills of the D&D world, all the drugs and the hedonism in the world, right? Because if somebody really, let's just throw out there, somebody likes to get watched, they're like, get me a beholder. That's what'll get me there.
Isn't one of the eyes paralyzed though?
Maybe that's what they like. I don't know.
Yeah. What if they like? Okay, this is going to get into weird territory.
I can't wait.
You know, the beholder kind of like it sits in the corner and watches you, and you get paralyzed while you get worked in a brothel. I'm just saying that's like a thing,
What?
right? Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
So with the beholder, though, would there also be something for the lich? Because we got soul slamming. What if they just want to experience death, so like the beholder can disintegrate them, and they're like, oh, and they resurrected their phylactery.
Oh, interesting. So that would be the opposite of soul slamming. Like there would be two options for this experience.
It's like a near-death experience for them.
Yeah. What would that be called? And would that be fun?
I was gonna say,
It reminds me.
That's like extreme therapy almost, where there's like, all right.
It reminds me of Altered Carbon, where they like know they're gonna die, so they sell their body for extreme things, but they think they're gonna be resurrected.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a movie based on this called like Flatliners or something like that?
Yes.
That's what it's reminding me of.
It was similar on that. They basically found out the principle of like bringing someone to near death was like this extreme high and crash. But the more they did it, it turned into like a psychological horror or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I give that description a 10 out of 10.
So
interesting.
If that was actually the case, would that cause more harm to the Lich or help the Lich? I feel like that would just fuck up their psyche more.
I feel like there would just be a lot of commoners trying very hard to become liches so they could have all these experiences.
Would their patron be pissed?
Depends on the patron. If it's like Yolanda or whatever her name is, the woman who's like the goddess of like the wilderness, she'd be like, "Stop becoming witches, halflings!" She'd be fucking furious.
Yeah, really don't recommend chasing those highs and lows. Psychological toll it can take on someone. I mean, liches can be kind of unhinged as it is. And the idea of them just pushing that further, yeah, no. Lich psychiatry is out the window. No bueno. Like 2 out of 10 would not recommend.
Like dare to keep this magically attuned away from liches.
You would actually see someone go to their psychiatrist in the middle of them, be like, "How does that make you feel?" Yeah.
Okay, well, we want to make sure we use our feeling words. So let's try to rephrase that. It's like, okay, fine. I feel yeah. Oh, you know what? We'll try this next week then.
Like that all liches apparently have to talk like Skeletor.
It's very important.
Well, there's not many good examples of voices of the undead, is there?
I mean, plus you have to think like, your vocal cords have rotted away, so you're using magical speech of some kind.
Yeah, so why would you want to sound like that?
Hey, you know what? Maybe there aren't any magical speech coaches, and maybe that's a profession that needs to be looked into.
It was the only voice line available for the Lich that didn't have the premium version.
You'd want it to be dark and menacing, right? If I came back as a lich, I'd want to sound menacing.
Yeah,
I feel like you would give up effort on making a as a lich. Like it's just like takes a little bit extra effort to make it sound like a normal human or whatever voice. It's just like, you know what? Let's just go with the raspy fucking.
You have to pay extra for that voice, though. You spent all your money trying to get to that point and achieve that lichdom. But when you get there, you're so excited, and then you realize
it's like skipping legs day.
What is the path to necromancy paved by EA or something? Is there microtransactions here I'm unaware of?
I mean,
I would not put it past a necromancer to turn necromancy into a microtransaction system.
So I think my goal to achieve lichdom would not to be to achieve immortality, but to become a like Power Rangers villain.
I mean,
why
you
that?
would have that voice.
It would just be so over the top and fun to do every day.
Finally, after 1,000 years.
Yeah, you're just like, I know I have to lose every day, but I'm gonna have fun doing it.
I mean, okay, so then we can steer it into that conversation, right? If you were offered to come back as a lich, what would be some of the things you want? Your voice, any sort of, I guess, what kind of a accessory would you have with you? You know, would you want to look like death? Would you want to look like a mage? What would you want?
I would want to be really good at illusion, so whenever I'm in a fight, and there's like hitting or scraping, there's sparks.
Love it.
Can liches change their physical attributes? Like,
Yes.
can a lich be swole? Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, they
That'd
can.
be tight.
That's
I'm
why-
big boned.
Exactly.
No, like what? Just like a jacked like meathead of a lich instead of the I'm breaking societal construct modes of what a lich should look like.
How
No.
edgy of you.
Oh, you could.
Yeah, just like it'd be awesome.
You could. See, I'd want to be one of those creepy kind of liches that has what's that device called that they hang from a chain? It's kind of like an incense burner.
Censure.
Thank you. Yes, that. Except I'd want it to have a pleasant smell to it, something citrusy, so it doesn't smell like death around me all the time.
It smells like sage.
Enchanted clothes that give off
Ooh.
nice smells for your lich friends.
Nice.
Oh my god. Didn't we have a conversation about this whiskey like a few years ago about like if you were death, what would you want in your little your censure so that people could know like that death was coming? And didn't you want some like tropical passion vape flavor?
Oh, dragon fruit. Yes.
What are you? A fucking,
Nice.
tell me you vape without telling me you vape. What just happened? We get
I
it,
don't
you vape,
vape.
bro.
Yeah, this was a while ago when a friend of ours had he was trying to get into like e-juice production, and he was making all kinds of flavors, and he's like, I'm gonna send you guys some stuff and you guys will be like our West Coast connections for the company to like, you know, boost sales. So we had to try everything. He gave us like $500 worth of product each to go through, and yeah, like we vaped a lot. We still had product like 6-7 months later, and anytime we were hanging out with friends, there was like tropical scented clouds just lingering in the rooms. It was ridiculous.
So, would this cause a problem for people at strip clubs when it know death is coming for them?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Oh my god! What if your censure smelled like strippers? Which is basically, for everybody who doesn't know, is the scent of angels. Just beautiful. Anyways,
Wow.
Good recovery. Well, so
Yeah.
are you saying that death is a lich?
Could be.
nah, I mean,
I
job's a
assume,
job.
I assume that just death didn't have a scent or noise or anything. Just death was death.
Well, from a mythological standpoint, I mean, doesn't that mean famine doesn't smell like anything? But I'm pretty sure famine does have a smell.
I think famine smells like hot dogs.
Oh,
It's
New
what
York
I'd want
City
the
hot dog
most.
water.
Maybe like weak
Yeah, I
oil
was thinking,
hot
yeah,
dog water.
hot dog
Yeah.
water.
Oh, just dirty
It's
water
what-
hot dogs.
But it's what you'd want the most if you're very hungry, like just some really gross food. Like it's what you would crave the greatest upon your death from this evil being.
It offers you hot dog water.
That's how you die.
What if? But what if they only smell like how it like pertains to you, right? Is like, what do you think of death, and how does that smell? Like, if suddenly pestilence was to show up, I'd probably smell rotted milk. So
Ew.
Hey, you know, on an aside, there's a quart of milk that's been sitting in my fridge that's been expired since February, and
Whoa,
the
nice.
container is slowly bloating, and I'm afraid to touch it because I'm like, well, first of all, it's not mine; it's my roommate's. But I'm afraid to touch it because I'm like, this is a bomb waiting to happen.
You want to get rid of that. Either you do it or you get your roommate to do it.
I'm afraid.
well, it's theirs.
I'm afraid of it.
That's on them.
Are you afraid of it?
I'm afraid of it.
Does it speak to you?
It might one day. It might belch.
So, what you do is you don't grab it and put it in something. You put a plastic bag over it and then scoop it in the rest of the way. So it does explode. It's in the plastic bag.
Yep.
This is spoken from experience, I feel.
Yep.
Not for me.
I had a roommate who would always forget to put creamer and milk back in the fridge because she didn't like putting cold like creamer and milk in her coffee. So she'd leave it out for a few minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, you're not the only one who drinks it. And there was like maybe like an inch left of milk left in there. And she forgot to put it back on the, or back in the fridge. And none of us had really been home for a few days. So no one noticed that there was a gallon of milk slowly expanding. And yeah, she barely tapped it to grab it and it exploded everywhere.
Oh my
That's
god, I'm fucked.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yep,
So,
I need to get a Ziploc bag or something.
yeah, just get a
Could you
trash.
live stream this?
Yes, we need to see this.
Well, you know what? It's a twisty cap, so it's got a little bit more integrity.
Yeah, I know.
Can
Which
you
is-
lead off with it? Be like, yo, it's your homeboy Chubbs here. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, punch that like and subscribe button.
Wish me luck.
Don't forget to check out my podcast.
Hit that bell notification, whatever.
He's not responding, so I can only assume he's taking notes.
I hate you guys so much, but we do need more views on the podcast. So
So does that mean you're going to do this?
no, God, no, I'm not going to stream this.
Can you dress up as a lich while doing it? Oh, come on.
He might turn into a lich while doing this.
His phylactery, however, is the milk container.
It is.
Oh,
yeah, I was going to say.
That's the
No, I'm gonna
phylactery
get
and the
soul
rotten
slammed.
milk.
You're gonna get soul slammed. Oh no.
That's like the best phylactery. Just make something absolutely repulsive that no one would want to get near, and then you're just like, all right, it's safe.
I don't know. Think on it more. If I'm going to start up my D&D game based on these conversations as well, I think I need to start a new one.
A new campaign.
He's got to write the
Yeah.
laws, the system.
He's got to flesh out a 3,000-page tome of laws for this world we're going to be in.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's fun about it, right?
I do enjoy doing that. I've got like spreadsheets and tables and documents for all the whole D&D world I have set up.
All right, well,
Do you have
got
a PTSD?
That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, I got one from Rini.
Yeah.
I need to make it actually a decent one though.
Oh, you mean you got PTSD from that experience, or what?
Cat-
No, like
cat
he made a PTSD table. He was like,
Right.
I have to roll on this for things.
So
And he
yeah,
tried to enforce Banyo rolling it, and Banyo was like, no.
your chart.
That's cool.
It goes back to the cliches of, or not cliches, but I guess common pitfalls of new players. Although he was a new of, aside from like I'm an orphan or I never knew my parents, they were killed, yada yada yada.
I don't
I'm
know
edgy.
the pain I've gone
Yeah.
through.
The pain I've gone through one is also a really bad one.
You'll
but
never be able to relate. You'll
He-
never experience it.
he didn't want to do that. Like he was like, oh yeah, well, my character was tortured by this scientist, and because of that has developed PTSD with these very specific characteristics that I have to roll on when they have developed. And we're
But you
like,
should anonymize this story.
Nope.
Nah, fuck it. He's never going to.
Nah.
I mean, it's fine. It's just if you're gonna do that,
Fine. He's never,
you
he
have
has,
to.
He hasn't
control it.
talked to me in like 2 years.
No, you have to control it. Like if you do something like that, and that's part of your character's backstory, you're the one that should be beholden to it, not try to make your DM do it. Like Banyo was saying, like he would ask him, like, should I roll for this? I don't know, should you?
I feel like in some cases it's good to go 50-50, but not more so on the
Mm.
player. You're right.
Nah,
that's
adding rules like that on the DM is not a good thing because DM's already having to cope with a bunch. If you want to do something specific for your character like that, you can roll on it for yourself.
So then, in that
Well,
case,
Something like that, yeah.
would this giant rule system? I'm curious about this topic, just personally, from someone having DM'd. Would a giant legal system with this like encyclopedia, if you made it, would that be helpful for a DM or not? Because essentially, that would make homework for all of your players. Of all right, well, here's this rule system I made up. Get to reading.
Well,
No, because the laws are going to be like laws in real life. Do you know all the laws in existence? No. You find out the hard way.
Yeah,
By getting
Not the
charged by them at the last minute when you are going to jail.
I will say, I'll correct what I said earlier. It's something like that PTSD system. Yeah, that's entirely on the player. But I do remember in a campaign, I used to be an acid-based dragonborn that I had a flaw that every time I got hungry, I started drooling uncontrollably, and my DM loved fucking with things when that happened. But that's all it was.
There's little things like that where it's a character trait that your DM can play on. This is the PTSD
something.
thing was
It was a dice roll.
like ridiculous what he was trying to push because there's like all these rules and things.
Yeah, he was trying to enforce.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, it was
Like
weird.
specific
It was-
triggers
it
and
was
whatnot.
weird.
If it's something basic, then you're able
It-
to keep
it's
track
like
of,
it's
and
like
the DM
asking
can't,
the
that's good.
DM to spank you. That's basically what was happening. And that,
That
no, I'm
all the
serious.
time in my games.
Why isn't Nick DMing more often?
Spank me. I've been bad.
I think it was back in that time that he had a bad experience where there was a love triangle or something or what was I forgot what it was where you had two players, like a husband and wife, that were trying to like role play a love
Oh yeah.
scenario.
Yes. Yes, it was very awkward.
And now we're gonna roleplay graphic sex with one another.
Alone in the bedroom.
Oh,
What?
DM, enhance it like you're watching us.
Whoa, now.
Anyway, liches.
I'm gonna call recording.